Hi everyone, my name is Laura Davies and I am the Student Recruitment Coordinator for the foundation year at the University of Cambridge. In this video, I will briefly outline what a foundation year is and how Cambridge's foundation year differs from some of the other foundation year programmes available at other universities in the UK. A foundation year can be considered as a transitional stepping stone between your sixth form or college education and an undergraduate degree. A foundation year may be suitable for you if you've experienced disruptive circumstances that affected your academic performance whilst at school or college. This could mean that you didn't have a chance to study a certain subject at sixth form or college, or maybe your school just didn't have the resources to support your study requirements. Foundation year programmes almost always have a lower entry requirement than starting straight into a degree course. This is because foundation years are designed to support you academically, growing your subject knowledge and providing you with skills that stand you in good stead for your onward studies. There are many different types of foundation year programmes which can support different kinds of learners, such as international foundation years for those students outside of the UK, foundation years particularly targeted for certain subjects with specific entry requirements, programmes for learners who are returning to education after a long break, and finally, what we call access foundation years, which explicitly target certain groups of students who may have experienced some kind of disadvantage, which has prevented them from reaching their potential. Each of these kinds of foundation year will result in different progression routes and cover different subject areas. So it's important to really do your research before applying. The Cambridge Foundation Year is a bit different to some other programmes. So here are some things that you should bear in mind. First of all, it is an access route for learners who have experienced educational disadvantage or disruption. As such, you have to meet certain eligibility criteria. Please check our website for full details of those. Secondly, our course is multidisciplinary in the arts, humanities, and social science subjects. That means that it isn't currently available for science or mathematic-oriented subjects. And on the course, you will study a number of subjects and approaches, not just one subject. The foundation year at Cambridge is also a standalone course, which means you're applying for it alone and not applying for example, history with a foundation year, as you might do at some other universities. There are, however, onward progression opportunities on the foundation year for you to transition onto undergraduate study at Cambridge. Some foundation years charge student fees. However, the foundation year at Cambridge is 100% free for its students with no tuition fees. And students admitted to the foundation year will also receive a generous scholarship to cover rent and other living costs. The academic entry requirement is lower than standard entry to Cambridge. Most courses at Cambridge ask a minimum of A-star AA at A-level, whereas for the foundation year, you need 120 UCAS points, which is equivalent to BBB or ABC at A-level. We also are able to accept a wide range of qualifications and combinations of qualifications. There are no specific subjects you have to have studied before either. That concludes this brief summary on what a foundation year is and how Cambridge's foundation year differs from some others available to students in the UK. You can find out more information about the course and your eligibility at www.cam.ac.uk/foundation year.